Hi guys, my name is Marie and welcome to my Kawaii world. So in this video, I'm going to be doing part 2 of my Japanese craft book video. A lot of you guys enjoyed the first one and you want to see the second half of my collection, so I hope you guys enjoy this. This first book is all about making character bentos or kyaraben. When I lived in Japan, my daughter was in Japanese preschool called Yochien, and there I heard about moms who made these really elaborate, cute bento boxes, and I didn't want my daughter to feel left out when she had to bring her lunch and have like an ugly lunch. Luckily, most of the time she was served kyushoku or school lunch, but on a few occasions, maybe once or twice a month, we had to send a bento box to school. So I bought this book to get some ideas on what to make for my daughter's lunch. And I didn't follow this exactly, but I just kind of use it to get some ideas on how to make a My Melody out of a boiled egg, for example. I found this whole process to be really time consuming, and what I actually did was I went to the convenience store and I bought food from Family Mart, and then I use it to like reassemble in a cute bento box, and I would usually shape the rice to make it look really cute. But there are some Japanese moms who make these kyarabens every single day for their kids. I know some of them, and they post the photos on Instagram because, I mean, you have to document these gorgeous creations, right? But yeah, there's just a whole culture around creating cute bento boxes for preschool kids, and a lot of love and time goes into these things. There are also plenty of books on how to create bentos at the Japanese bookstore, and when there's a new popular character, for example, if the Disney store comes up with a new character, usually they'll have a new book that covers how to make a bento box using those characters. And the nice thing about this book is that it shows you step by step how to make everything, and in the back they have some recipes on just little filler foods that sort of add more color to the box and make it look pretty and cute. This is a book that shows you how to make these cute little animal-shaped felt mascots, and this is not needle felting, it's actually made out of regular felt that you cut out and sew by hand. When I first bought this book, Sienna was really young, and I had planned to make all of these cute little animals for her to play with, and I think she would have really liked it. But surprise, surprise, I ended up not making anything. Actually, I take that back. I did make a unicorn for Valentina. I did sort of a modification on one of these patterns, and I put a little jingle bell in it, and I actually have a tutorial on my channel if you guys are interested. But the problem with this is that if you use low quality felt like I did, which was polyester felt, the felt will start to pill, and then it ends up looking really bad. So if you do make these with cheap polyester felt, then you just want to make it and then put it somewhere where you can look at it and it doesn't get touched a whole lot. But maybe if you want to make something to hang on your backpack, like a keychain or a charm, then you should use nicer quality fabric that's not going to pill as much. So after you make these guys, what do you do with them? I think you can sew a little jump ring on the top of the piece and make it into a keychain, or you can glue a pin on the back and turn it into a brooch and just wear it on your shirt. So here in the back they have all of the patterns and detailed directions. Everything is of course in Japanese, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but for this one I think you could mostly look at the pictures and get by. This next book is a Tsum Tsum bento box book, and I just thought this was really adorable. In the beginning here they go over the basic steps and just show you generally how to cut out different shapes, and they actually have patterns for you to cut out on ham and egg sheets. Everything in here is Tsum Tsum themed, so it's all really cute. I love Tsum Tsum, so I had to get this book. I think I tried making the Daisy one as well as the Pooh Bear, and it didn't really look exactly like the photo, but it was okay. Sienna could still tell what it was. Nowadays you can find inspiring pictures like this on Instagram. There's somebody called Little Miss Bento who makes some really cute Tsum Tsum themed food and desserts, and either I wasn't aware of it or maybe the Instagram bento boxing was not what it is today. The only issue I have with some of the bento boxes in this book is that some of them are so elaborate that it seems like when you put it in your bento box and then give it to your child to put in their backpack, it'll get tossed around and shaken, so it might not really look like what it's supposed to when they open their lunchbox. Here in the back, they give you sort of a detailed explanation on how to make some of these smaller little accessory items, and some of them are really cute. I really like this section where they sort of show you how to make Tsum Tsum themed foods that don't necessarily go into a bento box. So for example, the stacking fruit and melon balls, and also this Tsum Tsum themed sushi I think is so adorable. And then they're previewing another book that they have, which is how to make pull-apart bread that is Tsum Tsum themed. And they also provide you with these patterns in the back, which you can photocopy and cut out and sort of place on top of your cheese or ham to make sure that you have the right proportions. This is a book about wet felting, and I think I told you guys previously that I started my channel as a needle felting channel, and needle felting is basically stabbing pieces of wool repeatedly until it sort of forms a sculpture. And wet felting is very similar, but instead of using a needle, you use soap and water to shrink the felt and mat it together. So I thought this book was really cool. I wanted to make some of those zipper pouches, and I ended up doing a Dumbo Tsum Tsum zipper pouch. I have a tutorial for that on my channel. That was one of my videos from the early kawaii felting days before I changed my channel name to Marie's Kawaii World. So if you're bored and you're looking to pick up a new hobby, then check out some of my early crafting videos. I apologize for the quality. I was still learning how to film and edit videos, but I did my best. The only issue with this is that you might have a hard time finding wool roving, which is the raw material that you use to make these pieces. It's just basically loose wool that's really fluffy and sort of has a cotton ball-like texture to it. I got all my supplies from the Japanese craft store, but if you really want to get into this, then you can usually find supplies on Etsy. This is a little booklet that I got to go with my fute fute kit, which is that little pink basket device that you see in the picture. And this book basically tells you how to use the fute fute kit. But I did do a video on that if you guys are interested in watching it. And this book also tells you the kinds of things that you can make with these little felt balls. Next, I have another wet felting book. I think this may be a combination of wet felting and needle felting, but this book doesn't have my typical kawaii aesthetic. This is a little more funky and silly and interesting, but I just loved everything in here. I thought it was all so adorable. Some of these designs are just so random and silly, but I love everything in here. A realistic looking bird that sits on your shoulder, or a monkey that hangs on your bag strap. That, I'm not really sure what that is. This is a seahorse umbrella handle. I mean, everybody needs one of those, right? I really don't know what some of these things are, but I think that they all add a little bit of fun to your home and to your space and your life. There is an artist that I follow on Instagram called She Is Hine, and she makes a lot of these felt sculptures. She likes to do sea creatures like squid, and her creations are really cool, really funky, kind of weird, but I really like them. So in the front they have all of the fun pictures, and in the back they have the detailed directions and the not so fun part. So do you guys remember in my last video I showed you some books that were about how to make cute characters out of pom-pom balls, and they use these little discs that you wrap yarn around in certain patterns, and then you cut it and make a pom-pom ball. So you can make like a Tsum Tsum pom-pom ball or realistic looking animals. And this book is very similar, but instead of using yarn, you use needle felting wool. So it gives the little pom-pom balls a fluffier, more realistic looking effect in my opinion. Some of these animals can get a little bit scary, especially when you put in the realistic looking eyes. So now we're getting into my needle felting book collection, and this book shows you how to make little Russian type matryoshka dolls out of felting wool, but the only issue is I don't think you can open these up and put them inside like you can do with the Russian dolls. These are just solid figures that you display 3 in a row on a shelf. I think when I got this book, Sienna was really into those nesting dolls, and I just thought that everything in this book was really cute. But the only thing is the details on these are so precise, and it could be kind of hard to make this if you don't have a lot of experience with needle felting. Sometimes your pieces can come out looking really like a nailed it moment. So here is another needle felting book that I have, and I think the reason I got this was because it shows you how to make little accessories with the pieces that you make. So for instance, you can add a little hook on these pieces and turn them into earrings, or you can make hair ties or brooches or little keychains for your bag. And the nice thing about this book is that the designs in here are really simple. So this is a great starting point for anybody who is a beginner and looking to get into needle felting. So most needle felting wool is made out of 100% wool, but there's a brand called Hamanaka that makes acrylic wool. And this book is specific to the Hamanaka brand. It shows you how to make different characters using that acrylic wool. And this is also a really great book for beginners because the pieces are really simple. Here is another book that's specific to the Hamanaka acrylic wool, and this shows you how to make little cleaning sponges that you can use to do your dishes or clean your house. Personally, if I worked really hard on a needle felting piece, I would not want to use it as a cleaner because it would get all dirty and then at some point you would throw it away. But maybe it'll bring you joy to use something really cute when you're cleaning, and it'll inspire you to clean. So if you look at it that way, then maybe these things are worth making. Okay, so I have two more needle felting books. This one just shows you how to make these cute little characters, and I think I did a tutorial on how to make a pig in here, and I also made a frog and turned it into a pencil topper. But I just thought everything in this book was super kawaii. You can make them into keychains or you can make it into a little brooch, but these are really simple projects that I think are good for beginners. Here is another book that shows you how to make mascot cleaners, and I think they are also using the Hamanaka Acclaim wool in this book. I don't think that I ever made anything in this book, but I just bought it because I thought that everything was super cute and super adorable. I haven't looked at this book in a long time, but now that I'm watching this, I think my kids would probably like some of these little characters to just play with and put into their bags and purses and carry around. So if you're one of those people who comments on my channel saying that there's nothing cute where you live, you guys can make your own cute things. So I thought I would throw in a couple of my Korean craft and drawing books just because I have them. I don't have a huge collection of Korean craft books, but this is a book that I picked up at a store in Insadong that makes little worry dolls. And worry dolls are a Guatemalan thing, and they're these little dolls that you make for kids, and kids are supposed to tell the dolls their worries and the dolls will take their worries away. And this book makes them out of hanji, which I think is traditional Korean paper, which you can also find in Insadong. And I bought this book not knowing that we had to get those supplies, but I think you can just use regular construction paper if you want to do like a fun project with your kids. The only thing about this book is that I am a little disappointed by the quality of the pictures in here. The photos are pretty dark and it seems like the pictures are not that crisp and clear, but otherwise it seems like it's okay. So one time I went to the COEX Mall and I went to the Starfield Library and sat down, and I found a section that had a lot of drawing books, and I found that in Korea the drawing books are really good and there's just a lot of art books. So I really like this one. I thought the characters were super cute and I bought this thinking that Sienna might want to use it, and she's actually drawn a couple of the animals in this book, and I think that this is just a really fun book. The name of the author is Apple Horong, and she has her own Instagram page and YouTube channel, and I think she's a really great artist. Here is my last craft book. This is a drawing book, and I also got this one for Sienna. This just shows you how to make little doodles and gives you creative ideas on drawing characters and just cute little designs. And most of these things are really simple, so I thought this is a great book for kids, but Sienna has not really used this book a ton. Maybe she didn't find it inspiring, or I think she prefers to do drawing tutorials on YouTube as opposed to books.